What's up, everybody? So, we're back. We're working on War Machine. What a cool project. I have really enjoyed building this thing. It's definitely had some days where I hated it, had some days where I loved it. And we're getting to this part of the build now where it's really fun, because this is like the most fun part, where it's coming together. And, you know, I'm starting to really envision cruising this thing and having a good time riding around and, you know, hitting some cars and coffees and whatnot and all that type of stuff. So getting back after it, we got to start bending some aluminum line and start getting this air system put together. So hang out with me and let's start laying some aluminum lines together. Watch me fumble my way through this. It should be fun. All right, well, as you can see, a few things that have been moved and that are missing. And I'm just gonna be real honest with you, I got a big old fat mess right now. So let me ease on up in here and kind of show you what the problem is. Oh man, all right, so really, it's not a problem. I mean, it just, originally, where's my little thing? There it is. So originally, I thought I was gonna be able to mount my air tank like right here, just inside the frame rail, and it was all gonna be really nice and good, but it just didn't work out like that because it's so long. It wasn't gonna clear the cross member there. It wasn't really gonna clear it there. It was gonna make it hang down too low to the ground, and I don't know. I decided to mount it like this. I think it looks cooler anyway. But I ran all my lines in the middle right here, anticipating doing that, and thinking, no big deal, you know, I can just reroute them, not really a problem. And I mean, I can, it's not the end of the world, but it's gonna take a little work. So I went ahead, you see I've got my pipe nipples put all the way across right here for my valves. I got them all already glued in and everything. So you see I pulled all the 1/4 inch lines that run to the gauges. I pulled them all out where they used to run inside the body mounts to just under the body mounts. Now, I don't know if you remember or not, they run straight down and ran straight back underneath the truck, and then they kind of ducked inside this body mount to come over here. Well, with the way that I'm wanting to set this up now, I think I can actually bring them in right here and just bring them right up and bring them one at a time and tie them straight into the tops of the valves themselves, and it'll be cleaner, and it'll look nice. It'll be cleaner, it'll be easier in the long run. You know, I'm just had to kind of mess up everything that I just did to get them all, I've bent them all kind of crazy trying to get them pushed back down inside that body mount. Luckily the aluminum stuff, it bends pretty easy, so it won't be the end of the world. I'll get it straightened back out again. I straightened it once, I'll straighten it again. And then I've already got this one installed, I've already got it all tightened down. Well, the way these compression fittings work, once you tighten down on them, they're done, they're tightened. So then I realized that, you know what? It's gonna be better if I run these two main pressure lines that go to the bag, the main supply lines, if I actually run them under this, because they were sitting over top of it. So, kind of the same type of deal. I had to take them loose, and you see they're bent all over the place right now, in an effort to get them under that. Well, I got them under that, and you know, we're all good to go. So in the process of that, I also discovered that this one, the way it was meant to set up right here, would have been plenty long. Well, now with the way it comes in over there, wasn't quite gonna be long enough to just come straight back and do a 90. I had envisioned just 90 in that thing and jumping it right across to my my fittings and everything here. It's not really gonna be long enough to do that. So I'm gonna have to reroute that one a little bit, because I'm not gonna try to put a union in this thing to try to extend it. I just don't want to do that, because that's just going to add somewhere else that could be a possible leak, and I just ain't dealing with it. I just don't want to. I can try to change how it's routed underneath there. I think I can make it work. So what I'll do is I'll route it to our first supply line right here. So now, let me show you my plan for how we're going to do this. All right, so each one of these valves has got a direction arrow on it that lets you know which way that it flows. So this first valve that we're going to put on coming out of the tank is going to be basically the valve that's going to actuate to let pressure out of the tank to pump, to push air to the bag, which is going to let it come, which is going to make it expand and raise the truck up. All right, so then we're going to put a pipe nipple in there. Let me get that off of there, whatever that is. All right, I'm gonna put that joker in there. Then we're gonna put this cross on here. Yes, this is getting pretty tall, I know. And actually, I may go and get like a zero clearance, close tolerance nipple, I think it's called. That will kind of shrink this down a little bit so it's not quite as tall. I don't know, we'll see, you know, as we get to it if I want to do that or not. All right, so you got that cross there. So then you're gonna have your other valve, which this is going to be your dump valve. See, we got a nipple in it. I'm gonna put that here. Now you see we got this right here. Now a lot of guys do not run these. This is where the air is going to be coming out of this valve. So when you hit the switch to let the air out of that particular bag, this valve will open and let the air come out this side of it and just vent into the atmosphere. Most people just leave that wide open and it just, it's really loud and it sounds cool and it's super fast. Now my attempt with this is actually like a slowdown valve for hydraulics. You can actually regulate the amount of airflow that it will allow through this valve when you open it. So you can regulate how fast this thing will go down. It's gonna go up fast because we ain't regulating that, but this will regulate how fast it goes down. Now the only time where that is really important is if you're driving down the road or something. You know, if you're driving down the road and you just want to let this dude down just a touch, you know, you don't want to hit it one time and it just completely vent and just boom and just slam you on the ground. You can lose control of the vehicle. It would just be a bad deal. So we're going to attempt to run these slowdowns. I've never used them before, so should be interesting all the way around. So essentially that guy goes into the other side of this cross like this. All right, now obviously this is not our final assembly. So that is going to sit down there just like that, okay? So now we've got our dump side, we've got our pressure side right here. So now, remember what I was telling you about the lines that run to the gauges up front? We got this guy right here. This is your basic compression fitting for the gauges. So we can put this guy right here. So now you see we can just run this up and then bang, go right into it. Now what I might actually do with this, because of just looking at how it's sitting right now, I've looked at this 100 different ways of how I could do it. This is gonna be really tall. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, whatever, it'll look cool, really mechanical and cool. Now what I might actually do is get some 90-degree fittings to go right here. That way this will actually just point over. That way I won't have to try to come further out and bend a 90-degree directly into it. It would be easier if I could just come straight into it. So I may go pick up some of those tomorrow to do that with. So then our last step, I don't have one handy, but would be a compression fitting to go right here that our airline is going to go directly into, and that will do it right there. So basically we're going to take this one and it's going to plumb directly into this. Now I've thought about maybe trying to get a 45-degree fitting. I haven't really found one around here yet, so whatever, I'll just have to put whatever degree of bend this is into this line when I bring it over, and it should be fine. But if I look at it like this, I should have plenty of line or tubing to get it done. It'll turn and go in there just fine. I might be able to do it from the existing spot where I had it bolted, just kind of reroute it a little bit there. But that is how we're going to do both of our fronts. This port and this port is going to be our front. These four are going to be to our rear. Now we're going to be doing something a little bit different on the rear, just to kind of, so it won't clutter up this parking brake area right here. I don't want the slowdowns and stuff getting over into that parking brake area. But this is how we're going to do our front. So I'm going to go ahead, actually right now, I'm going to call it a night. But when we come back, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of assemble this. I'm going to assemble this on the tank. That way when we come back, we'll be ready to start figuring out how we're going to have to bend and adjust this this tubing right here to make it all look nice and pretty and get it all attached where it'll be sealed up, look good, be strong and functional. So I'll see you in just a second, and this will probably look a lot like it looks right now, except it will all be sealed up and, for lack of a better term, glued together. So I'm gonna get working on this, and we'll see you in just a second. Arrgh. So, oh man, it's been like 2 days since that last video because I got busy doing things. And I just got home from work and I was sitting here and I was looking at this, trying to get my game plan, figure out what I was doing last time I was here. And I was like, all right, cool, so we're gonna do this. And I got to looking at it, and the fitting is actually, it ends above this piece of tubing right here. So if the fitting ends above it, obviously the tubing is going to have to be above it in order for it to turn down into it. So I went through all that to get these two pieces of tubing under this. Now I gotta go through all of it again to get it back over it. So I did go ahead and kind of look at this, and I cut, I don't know, 1.5 feet off of it that was bent that way that I'll probably never be able to use for anything except just probably just going to be waste. And I'm going to have one of these pieces of tubing is going to come up about a foot short, and I'm going to wish I had that, but whatever, it is what it is, right? So now I'm going to wrestle these back up on top so that I can actually try to start putting this stuff together the proper way. So here we go. It was actually a whole lot easier with that big old long section cut off of it. And this one was already a little bit short. So this one's the one we're gonna do first. So I'm just gonna pull this one to the side. So I guess first thing first, I can see where it was mounted over there. I think I can still use that mount and bring it up and come over and reach where I need to be here. So first things first is I gotta get this valve put on and build all this out like I said I was gonna do earlier. So I'm gonna get started on that now. Well, crap, I just put the sealant in the wrong side of this. So it looks like I'm going to go and put the nipple in this right quick. Whew. Okay, I'm back. You notice? Wearing different clothes. So, such is my life. I was gonna put the valve on, like I said. I put Loctite on the wrong side of the valve, so I had to go run and put the fitting in it right quick. Then I went ahead and put Loctite on this other side and got the valve put on. About the time I was tightening it up, I hear something behind me. I turn around and look. Both of my kids are standing there with the bat on their shoulder. They're like, can we go over to the field and hit? So, of course, you know, yeah, just give me a minute, you know. So, you know, we go hit for like an hour and a half, and then by the time I get home, dinner's ready, and I pretty much wrapped up last night. So, back here, gonna try to get these valves and stuff put on tonight. At the very least, we're gonna try and get these two front ones squared away. So, I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna let this camera run while we work on putting these valves together. So, I'm gonna get into it.
ISO, let's get it. Whoa, clear out the room, I'm coming through. They wanna see what I'm about. Yeah, I got skills, do it for the thrill. I'm on a paper route. Extra, read about it. I'm today's trending topic. I put commas over bullshit. Yeah, I put that on mamas. They tryna block all my blessings. They thought I lost for stepping. I bet on me and my team. ISO is what I'm rapping. Put on for the whole city. Yeah, I got them rocking with me. I bet on me and my team. ISO is what I'm rapping.
Sending emojis, I'm blowing a pack of that OG. Don't be acting like you know me. And if you did, that's the old me. Winter time, rock a cold fleece. Pocket fat, that's obese. Only talking money if it's increased. She give me brain, girl, no teeth. I touch down, bust down. She busted open for a real day. Stay Tommy'd up, trying to build it up, trying to count it up, hill figures. Don't be chillin' with no lil. And if I do, I be real with them. Chase a dream, that's a meal ticket. ISO gang, yeah, they still with us. I put it in motion, they got me steady. Thoughts on my mind, it's weighing heavy. Watch how I shine, tell them I'm ready. I'm hitting my stride, let's get to the fetty. I was just sitting back watching them fold. Racks on me now, yeah, it's looking slow. I hold it down and I got my own. Keeping it grown, we back to the bone. Yeah, flying flashy, ayy, ayy. We too fancy, ayy, ayy. Can't walk past me, ayy, ayy. Right up your alley, wait.
All right, so took a few minutes, but finally got them put on. So you see here, we've got our valve that is going to be our pressure valve. It's gonna send air to the front bags to air it up. This is our other dump valve, which is going to let the vehicle down. Right here, I've got these slow downs that are on there. We got our fittings right here for our tubing to come in. You see it's going to kind of come in at the top at an angle like that. And then you got these little guys that, you notice I didn't tighten them up and I didn't put any sealant or anything on them. This is going to be where we're going to tie in the lines to the gauges in the dash. That way I always know exactly what is in each corner. So now the ones at the back, them having 2 valves per wheel, I'm going to tie those together so they'll have 1 coming off each. So right now I'm kind of just loosely putting them in, kind of trying to get a game plan for when it comes time to run those. Just kind of getting a picture in my head, kind of what I want to do there. Obviously I don't have to do anything with it right now. I'm just kind of putting the fittings in it. That way everything's accounted for. That way as I'm going along through here, I know I've got all the fittings on there. So now we're gonna get to working on this piece of tubing right here. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my tubing straightener and we're gonna run over and we're gonna straighten this dude right here. Let me grab this dude and I'll show it to you. All right, so like I said, I got this guy off Amazon. Basically, I don't know, it's 6 inches long or something like that. The tubing fits right through the middle. It's got like just lots of little rollers in there that just kind of roll it through there. And it will make it straighter if you just roll it through there. But you do kind of have to still work it a little bit. It won't just make it perfectly straight on its own. It would be really cool if it did. Now I have found that a lot of times I can take and just kind of use the roller itself, you know, as kind of a straightener. I'll kind of just, let's see, like right now the end of this thing is a little bit crooked, but like if I know if I got a big bend right there, you know, as I roll it in and come through it, you see it will, I hope you can see that moving, it will roll that and straighten it out a fair little bit, but it's not perfect. So like even this one, this looks really good now, but I ran over it with this thing and straightened it because you see like there's a little bend in this right now. It's a long sweeping bend, it won't really get that out. So what I have found, what I like to do with it is, once I kind of get it right where the bend is, I'll kind of get way out here and I'll flex the tubing kind of as it goes through there to kind of try to take that long sweeping bend out of it, you know? Kind of try to use because it's holding over a good 6-inch area there, so it's not gonna put a kink in it. And I just I try my best to get it as straight as I can. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Eventually, it's all gonna be underneath the flatbed anyway, so who really cares? But I mean, if we can make it look pretty, at least in the beginning, you know, why wouldn't we try, right? I mean, you're gonna see it. I'd like for it to look pretty at least at first. I mean, who knows how bad I'm gonna mess this deal up as we go. So I gotta remember, okay, I see where my clip is, right under there. So I think I'm gonna walk around this other side. I'm gonna go ahead, finish straightening it out, and then, I don't know, I think I'm gonna have to kind of come maybe where my clip is and go ahead and kind of throw a 90-degree bend in it. Cause I can't pull it all the way over. Right now it's running down the passenger side of the truck, down the passenger side of the transmission. I don't wanna just kind of come over top of the transmission because that kind of puts it in a bad spot. So, I'm gonna straighten it just a little bit more. Then I'm gonna brainstorm for a few minutes to get a plan, and I'll come back when I have a final plan. So straighten this out just a touch more, and then I'm gonna brainstorm. So if you smell smoke, you know, it's me. This thing does work pretty good though, especially for as cheap as it was. Like I said, I didn't pay much for it, so it gets it straight enough to the point where I can kind of come back, like I said, and just kind of work it in small areas. So that's a lot better than it was. Now, let's get a game plan together.
Well, that could have definitely went a lot worse. Didn't get a whole lot done, but did get a whole lot done. You know, I try to cut out as much downtime as possible. I spent a lot of time sitting here staring at this, figuring out what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, and then kind of trying it off camera so I could cut out the part of me sitting there scratching my head as much as possible because nobody really cares about seeing that, no way. So, hope you enjoyed it. We got a lot more tubing to bend, you know, and lay it all out where it looks cool. As y'all know, I have really bad OCD, so you're in for a treat on this one because my OCD is going to go full-blown into overdrive. Thank you for watching to this point in the video. I hope you come back to the next one and see how I get this thing all the way laid out. And we ain't far from riding, y'all. So we'll see you in the next one.